My family spent $12,000 on my brother and then completely forgot my 21st birthday. And the way I found out is absolutely insane. This is the story of how a single receipt changed my entire life. Have you ever felt like a background character in your own life? That was literally me every single day. But my 21st birthday was supposed to be different. It was a huge milestone. Instead, I got complete silence. And this silence was about to be shattered by a $12,000 receipt that would become my Declaration of Independence. You are not going to believe what happened. A lifetime of shadows, the pattern begins. This wasn't the first time they forgot me, not even close. But this time was on another level. My brother Leo was the golden child. Everything was for him. He was the sun, and I was just there. I'll never forget my 7th birthday. I was so excited. Friends, cake, everything. 1 hour before the party, my little brother throws a tantrum because he wants a superhero costume. So, what does my mom do? She literally leaves. She just grabs her keys and goes, "Sweetie, your brother is upset. We can have cake later." Later never happened. My friends showed up to an empty house, and when my mom and Leo got back, he's rocking this cheap plastic costume, and my party is completely forgotten. I cried, and my dad told me to stop being so dramatic. It was just a party. But that's when I learned the number one rule in my house. What Leo wants, Leo gets. Period. This pattern happened all the time. I won the regional spelling bee, a huge deal, and they missed it for Leo's soccer practice. They were 2 hours late to pick me up from an empty school. I learned to be independent because I literally had no other choice. I learned to celebrate my own wins and deal with my own problems. And if I ever tried to talk about it, my mom would say, "That's not true. We love you both the same." But their actions told a totally different story. The teenage years, the gap widens. Things got even crazier in high school. The favoritism went from quiet to loud. Leo was the football star. His games were massive family events. I'm talking jerseys, face paint, the whole deal. I was there. I cheered for him. But my thing was debate club, and I was actually crushing it. My team made it to the state finals. It was the biggest day of my life. And guess what? It was the same day as one of Leo's meaningless preseason scrimmages. I told them weeks in advance. I reminded them constantly. Their big promise? We'll try our best. Right as I was walking on stage for the final round, I got a text from my mom. "So sorry, honey. Leo's scrimmage is running late. He played so well. Break a leg." We won. I was holding this huge trophy, and all I saw were my teammates hugging their parents. I called my family after. Voicemail. They were all out at a celebratory dinner for Leo's team, for a scrimmage. And the worst part? They made me feel crazy for being upset. They were expert-level gaslighters. On my 16th birthday, the night I was supposed to celebrate getting my driver's license, the entire dinner was about Leo getting suspended. They were literally strategizing how to protect his future. I tried to talk about my driving test, and my dad literally said, "Not now, Maya. We're dealing with something important." Later, I found my mom and said, "It was my birthday today. Did anyone remember?" And she told me I was being selfish and the world doesn't revolve around me. Can you believe that? They weren't just overlooking me. They were making me feel guilty for wanting to be seen. It's an unbelievably lonely way to grow up. The build-up to the 21st. For my 21st birthday, I actually had hope. It's a huge birthday. There's no way they could ignore this one, right? Wrong. I was living a few hours away for college, and I started dropping hints months early. every time I tried to talk about it, they were completely obsessed with a big surprise for Leo's graduation, which was a full year away. This secret project for Leo took up all the air, all the money, and all their attention. A week before my birthday, I called my mom, begging to make a plan. And she told me it was the worst possible time because they were finalizing Leo's surprise. The hope I had just completely died. So, no dinner? I asked. I just don't see how, sweetie, she said. We'll call you, of course. We'll definitely call. I knew they wouldn't. Playing it by ear was their code for, it's never happening. I was about to spend my 21st birthday completely alone. The day itself. The morning of my 21st birthday, I woke up and checked my phone. 0 notifications. Nothing from my mom, nothing from my dad, not a single text. I got an offer for free garlic bread from a pizza place, so I guess that's something. I lay in bed, just waiting to see how long it would take for them to remember. Noon? Dinner? My amazing roommate left a cupcake on my desk, which almost made me cry. A near stranger remembered. At noon, I called my mom. Voicemail. I called my dad. He picked up and said, "Hey, can't talk right now, in the middle of something. Is it important?" My throat just closed. "No," I said. "It's not important," and I hung up. My friends were awesome and tried to cheer me up. They dragged me out and bought me my first legal drink, but all I could do was check my phone. Every buzz was a rush of hope, followed by a crash of disappointment. I went to bed that night, checked my phone one last time. Still nothing. They hadn't just forgotten. They erased me. And that's when I decided, this is the last time. This was war. The discovery. I didn't hear from them for 3 full days. My mom finally calls on Tuesday, super cheerful, and asks, "How was your weekend?" I was like, "It was my 21st birthday on Saturday, Mom." There was a pause. Then she just laughed. "Oh, right. Of course. Happy birthday, sweetie. See, I told you we'd call." No apology. Nothing. I was boiling with rage. The next weekend, I drove home to grab some books. The house was empty. On my way out, I walked past my dad's office and the door was open. And that's when I saw it. On his desk was a receipt. The total at the bottom blew my mind. Total, $12,000. $12,000. What could possibly cost that much? I picked it up and my world exploded. It was a down payment for a brand new 2026 car for Leo. They spent $12,000 on a down payment for my brother's car the same week they couldn't even make a phone call for my 21st birthday. I just sank into the chair. This wasn't just about a car. This was a receipt for my worth in my own family, and my value was 0. Less than 0. This was the proof. This was the evidence I needed that I wasn't crazy, so I took the receipt. It was mine now, and I was about to cash it in. The explosion, literally. 10 minutes later, they walk in the door, all smiles. Leo is with them, grinning like he won the lottery. He knew. Of course he knew. I didn't say anything. I just stood there and let them get uncomfortable. "Maya, what's going on?" my dad asked. I pulled the folded receipt out of my pocket and just held it up. Their faces went white. My dad tried to get mad at me for being in his office. I was like, "Do not try to turn this on me. You have spent months obsessed with this surprise. You ignored my calls, dismissed my plans, and you completely forgot my 21st birthday." My mom said, "Maya, it's not about the money." And I absolutely lost it. "It is always about the money," I screamed. "It's about what it represents. This receipt says he is worth $12,000, and I'm worth nothing. I called them out on everything. The forgotten parties, the missed championships, everything. The tears were streaming down my face, but I felt so powerful. You didn't just forget, I told them. You chose. You have always chosen him. I'm done, I said, my voice suddenly steady. I'm done begging for you to notice me. I am leaving, and I am not coming back. I turned my back on them and walked out the front door. I didn't slam it. I closed it softly. Game over. I was finally free. And what I did next is the craziest part of the whole story. But before we get to that, if you've ever felt like this, hit that subscribe button right now because you are not alone. And leave a comment with your story. We're building a community here, and taking back our power starts now. The walkout and the immediate aftermath. Driving back, I felt this insane mix of terror and freedom. The second I got to my dorm, I ignored their calls and started planning my new life. Then I remembered something huge. My grandmother, when she passed away, had left me money for when I turned 21. My parents, of course, had never mentioned it. I dug through my files, found the paperwork, and called the bank. My heart was pounding. The banker told me there was $8,000 in the account. $8,000. It was my escape fund, sent from the one person who always saw me. Meanwhile, my phone was exploding. My mom was trying to guilt trip me. My dad was demanding I behave like an adult. And Leo sent a weak, "Are you okay?" I ignored every single one of them. While they were blowing up my phone, I found a tiny studio apartment online and used my grandma's money to pay the deposit and first 2 months' rent. Signing that lease was the most insane feeling in the world. I was finally in control. The journey to independence. The next few months were an absolute grind. I was learning to be an adult from scratch, but every little win, like paying a bill or learning to cook, felt like a massive achievement. Without all the family drama, I crushed it in school and even got a promotion at my job. Most importantly, I started building a new family, a chosen family of friends who actually cared about me. My roommate Sarah became my best friend. My coworkers, my friends. These were my people. I even started seeing a therapist who gave me the validation I never got from my parents. She helped me realize my value wasn't a number on a receipt. I was finally figuring out who I was, not who they told me I was. I joined clubs, took classes, and started building a life I was actually proud of. There were still sad moments, but they were like old scars, not fresh wounds. The family's reaction and setting boundaries. My family completely freaked out. I gave them the silent treatment, a weapon I learned from them, and they couldn't handle it. The guilt trips were insane. My mom sent texts like, "You're tearing this family apart." My dad called me childish. They even sent Leo to try and get me to come back. He showed up at my work and literally said, "Why are you doing this? It's just a car." Unbelievable. He just didn't get it. The final showdown was insane. They showed up at my new apartment, uninvited. The old me would have hidden. The new me opened the door and blocked them from coming inside. They yelled. My mom cried. They called me selfish and ungrateful. I just let them finish. Then I told them, I am not ungrateful. I'm just not available to be your forgotten daughter anymore. If you want to be in my life, it's on my terms. That means respect and equality. If you can't offer that, then this is goodbye. They were speechless. And when I closed that door, I knew I had won. It's been 5 years since that day, and my life is unrecognizable. I graduated with honors. I have an amazing career helping at-risk youth. I have a rescue dog, and my chosen family is everything to me. My relationship with my biological family is distant, but polite. We see them for major holidays. They never really apologized, but I don't need it anymore. Surprisingly, my relationship with Leo is actually better. He was forced to grow up. This entire crazy journey taught me that you have to claim your own self-worth. That $12,000 receipt was the worst thing that ever happened to me, but it was also the best. It forced me to find my own voice and celebrate myself. If you made it to the end, you are a true legend. Please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out this playlist for more stories just like this. And never forget, your value is not determined by anyone else's inability to see it. You are worthy, you are enough, and you deserve to be celebrated.